I knew I was going to be successful. I knew everything was going to go right. I knew it. It was in my blood. I was only a kid, but I said, I want to be like that guy. And it just started working. I started thinking about myself being these people, visualizing myself being, I don't know, great or somebody. I've never done that in my life. I've never heard, not even in the ghetto, somebody say this. Like, I said, wow, he's great. Like, I'm talking about, like, Holmes. I said, wow, he's incredible. I said, why is he incredible? I don't think he's that incredible. Why shouldn't you have that? Why should he have that and not you? I've never heard somebody say that to me. Everybody told him that he can't be heavyweight. He's too small. No arms are too short. There's no way in the world he can be too short because he's too small. These guys are 225, 230. If we knew who we were, we'd be very limited. You know? We don't know who we are. You don't know what you might do tomorrow when you wake up. The belief that you're going to come back is magnificent.
Yeah.
The belief to know that we're going to wake up in the morning. Imagine if we went into life like that.
Yeah.
With that belief. Feeling so intense you see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The feeling so intense. You even makeup or whatever you see it from. That's why feeling is so important. We just don't even understand. Well, that's what it's all about. But visualizing, looking into the mirror, self-hypnotism. And that's what it's all about. Touching your inner core of your consciousness. Belief is more powerful than anything. It's just a concept of belief. And why do we have that belief? And why are we willing to sacrifice everything for a belief system that we never actually been involved in? You know, and that's what I believe in. You know, it's all about our belief system. Listen, the ups and downs are not over, believe it or not.
Put your mother in the straight jacket, you punk ass white boy. Come here and tell me that if I fuck you in your ass, you punk white boy.
Myself and believe that I want to be up, then anybody in the world wants me to be down. And it's all about, well, like I said before, self-belief. My whole success is from belief. Check it out, something I can feel, but not actually see.
The ring is a mirror, reflecting the raw truth of who you are. In its center stands a man, gloves scarred, eyes blazing with a hunger no pain can quench. Mike Tyson's voice echoes beyond the ropes, his words sharp as a jab, heavy as a hook. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, he says, and the crowd feels it. Not just a quip, but a challenge to rise when life hits hardest. This is not a story of titles or knockouts alone. It's the journey of a man who fell to the depths, faced his demons, and clawed his way back, leaving behind words that burn with truth. Tyson's life, a canvas of chaos and redemption, offers not just inspiration, but a call to stand, to fight, to become unbreakable. His quotes are not mere slogans. They are sparks, igniting the fire within anyone daring to dream beyond their scars. Brooklyn streets pulse with danger, a crucible for a boy named Mike. At 12, he's already a survivor, navigating a world of broken promises and clenched fists. The projects are a jungle, and young Tyson is no stranger to its claws. He's small, shy, his voice soft, but beneath it lies a rage, a hunger to be more than a victim. Pigeons become his refuge, their flight a symbol of freedom he craves. But the streets don't reward dreamers. Bullied, beaten, he learns early that weakness is a luxury he can't afford. A stolen bird leads to a fight, and something shifts. His fists find power, his fear finds purpose. By 13, he's in a juvenile detention center, a place meant to break spirits, but it's there he meets a spark. A counselor who sees not a delinquent but a warrior. Boxing becomes his salvation, a language for his pain. Under the dim lights of a gym, he swings, not just at bags, but at the weight of a world that expects him to fail. The ring transforms him. At 15, Tyson is a force, his fists a blur, his eyes a storm. Trainer Cus D'Amato becomes his guide, not just in boxing, but in life. Fear is like fire, Cus tells him. It can cook for you, or it can burn you. Tyson learns to harness that fire, to channel his rage into precision. By 20, he's a phenomenon, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, demolishing Trevor Berbick in 1986. The crowd roars, but Tyson's world is louder. He's Iron Mike, a name that shakes the earth, yet beneath the glory cracks form. Fame is a heavy crown, and Tyson wears it uneasily. The streets still whisper in his ear, their lessons of survival clashing with a world that demands perfection. He's unstoppable, but not untouchable. Losses, scandals, and betrayal creep closer, and the boy who conquered the ring begins to stumble outside it. I'm not perfect, he'll say later, but I'm trying, and in that trying lies his truth. The fall is brutal, a descent no one could script. In 1990, James Buster Douglas lands a punch that does more than drop Tyson. It shatters the myth of invincibility. The world gasps, but Tyson feels it deeper, a wound to his soul. The ring, once his kingdom, becomes a battleground of doubt. Then comes 1992, a conviction, a prison cell, 3 years stolen. The world writes him off. A cautionary tale of squandered greatness. But inside those walls, Tyson wrestles with more than bars. He faces himself, his anger, his choices, his pain. Adversity makes you stronger, he'll say, and he lives it. He reads, reflects, prays, finding a flicker of the boy who dreamed of flight. Released in 1995, he returns to the ring, not as a king, but as a man seeking redemption. The comeback is flawed, marked by losses and controversies, but it's real. He fights Evander Holyfield, loses, falters, yet keeps swinging. I'm not afraid to fail, he declares, and those words carry weight. A testament to a man who knows the canvas but refuses to stay down. The ring fades, but the fight doesn't. Tyson's life becomes a different kind of battle, one of self-discovery, of rebuilding. He faces bankruptcy, addiction, the ghosts of his past. Yet he speaks, raw and unfiltered, his words cutting through the noise. Without discipline, you're nothing, he says, a truth carved from his own chaos. He rebuilds, step by step, not for glory, but for peace. He becomes a father, a storyteller, a man who owns his scars. His one-man show, his podcast, his books, they're not just platforms. They're proof that a man can rise from ashes. I'm just a regular guy with extraordinary experiences, he says, and it lands like a hook. The world sees a legend, but Tyson sees a survivor, a man who learned to love himself despite the hate. His quotes, born from pain and triumph, become lanterns for others. You have to be willing to suffer, he says, not as a warning, but as a promise that suffering shapes strength. The climax of Tyson's story isn't a single moment, but a mosaic of battles won and lost. It's in the quiet of a gym, where he trains not for titles, but for clarity. It's in the laughter of his children, the wisdom he shares with strangers. Life is about getting up, he says, and he's lived it through punches, prisons, and personal wars. His greatest fight was never against Holyfield or Douglas, but against the voice that said he wasn't enough. He won, not with fists, but with faith, in himself, in redemption, in the power to change. I'm not what I was, but I'm better, he says, and it's a clarion call. Tyson's words are not just quotes. They're weapons, tools to carve your own path. Don't let your past dictate your future, he urges. And it's not advice. It's a command, forged in the fire of a life that refused to quit. Stand now, in the ring of your own existence. The crowd may jeer, the punches may land, but Tyson's voice echoes through the noise. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So what's your move? Will you crumble, or will you rise? His words are your armor, his life your proof. Fear is your best friend or your worst enemy, he says. Choose to make it your fuel. Step forward, not with doubt, but with discipline. Swing, not with anger, but with purpose. Tyson fell, bled, broke, but he stood again and again, a testament to the heart that outlasts the storm. You are not your failures, your scars, your past. You are the fire that burns when the world goes dark, the strength that grows when the canvas calls. Be real with yourself, Tyson says, and it's your challenge now. Take his words, his truth, his fight, and make them yours. Step into your ring and become the champion you were born to be.